You've mastered your mind. You've built a practical Stoic lifestyle based on reason, simplicity, and virtue. But then you step outside, and immediately someone tests every principle you've committed to. Your coworker takes credit for your work. A family member criticizes everything you do. A stranger is rude to you for no reason. Someone you trusted betrays you. People misunderstand your intentions. Your kindness is taken for weakness. Suddenly, all that inner peace feels impossible to maintain. Here's the brutal truth. You can control yourself, but you cannot control other people. And most of your suffering comes not from what happens to you, but from how other people behave toward you. This is where philosophy gets tested. Anyone can be calm alone on a mountain. But can you maintain your principles when someone insults you? Can you stay kind when someone is cruel? Can you forgive when someone wrongs you? In our previous exploration of Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, we discussed how to live a practical Stoic life, with simplicity, honesty, and duty. But now we face perhaps the greatest challenge: other people. Marcus dealt with this constantly. As emperor, he encountered betrayal, incompetence, cruelty, and ingratitude daily. Yet he developed a framework for navigating human interactions that allowed him to remain at peace while fully engaging with humanity. Today, we're diving into Stoic social philosophy, how to deal with people, not how to manipulate them, not how to avoid them, but how to engage with them wisely, kindly, and without losing yourself in the process. This video will teach you how to cooperate with humanity while protecting your peace, how to show kindness even when it's not returned, how to forgive without becoming a doormat, and how to judge people fairly while maintaining appropriate boundaries. Let's begin. Number 1. Cooperation with humanity. Here's a foundational Stoic belief that changes everything. Humans are made for cooperation, not isolation. Marcus wrote, "Humanity is born for cooperation. We are constituted for one another, like feet, like hands, like eyelids, like the rows of upper and lower teeth." This isn't just poetic language. It's a recognition of fundamental reality. You exist within a web of relationships. Your survival, your success, your happiness, all depend on cooperation with others. The food you eat, the roads you drive on, the knowledge you possess, none of it exists without countless people cooperating. To act against one another is contrary to nature, and you act against others when you become angry with them, when you turn away, when you fall into hatred or give up trying to make a positive difference. This is crucial. The Stoic doesn't retreat from society. That would be unnatural. But here's where it gets challenging. Cooperation doesn't mean compliance. It doesn't mean tolerating abuse or enabling bad behavior. It means recognizing that you're part of a human community and you have a role to play within it. Marcus advised, "If you conceive of all rational beings as constituted for cooperation, then helping other people becomes a joy and not just the right thing to do." When you internalize this, your entire approach to people shifts. That difficult coworker, they're part of your cooperative system. That rude stranger, they're playing a role in the larger human drama. Your challenging family member, you're connected to them by nature. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it frames it differently. You're not isolated individuals competing for resources. You're members of the same species, designed to work together. When someone frustrates you, remind yourself, we're made for cooperation. Getting angry violates that natural law. This perspective doesn't make dealing with difficult people easy, but it makes it purposeful. You're not just enduring them, you're fulfilling your nature as a cooperative being. Number 2. Show kindness even to the unkind. This is where Stoicism becomes radical. Marcus had a daily practice. Every morning he would tell himself, "Today I will meet angry, arrogant, jealous, rude, and irritating people. They behave badly because they don't know the difference between good and evil. But I do." Think about this. The Emperor of Rome expected to encounter difficult people every single day. He didn't hope for better. He prepared for reality. And his response? Kindness. He continued, "Since we share the same human nature, we should not be angry at them. We cannot be harmed by them unless we allow ourselves to be." This is profound. Marcus understood that unkind people are acting from ignorance. They don't understand what's truly good for them, so they pursue things that ultimately harm them. Power, revenge, validation through cruelty. But you know better. So the question becomes, what qualities has nature given us to counter unkindness? As an antidote to unkindness, nature gave us kindness. Marcus advised, use it and see what happens. Very few people can continually act unkindly to you if you show continued kindness to them. This isn't naive optimism, it's practical wisdom. When someone is rude and you respond with rudeness, you've entered a cycle that benefits no one. But when you respond with kindness, genuine, not patronizing, you often break the pattern. Not always. Some people will continue being unkind regardless, but that's their choice, not yours. Your task is simple. No matter what anyone says or does, my task is to be good. Notice this doesn't mean being a pushover. You can show kindness while maintaining boundaries. You can be kind while saying no. You can be kind while walking away from toxic situations. Kindness isn't weakness, it's strength under control. The noblest kind of retribution, Marcus said, is not to become like your enemy. When someone wrongs you, you have a choice. Become like them or remain yourself. Choose yourself every time. Number 3, understand and forgive ignorance. Here's a Stoic insight that's hard to accept. Most people who wrong you aren't evil, they're mistaken. Marcus wrote, when receiving bad treatment or criticism from someone, either they're right, in which case you've no right to complain, or they're wrong, in which case they're misguided and have just made a mistake. Think about this framework. If someone criticizes you and they're correct, you should thank them for the correction. If they're wrong, they've simply made an error in judgment. Remind yourself how many mistakes you've made in life. Then feel pity for them. This shifts everything. When you see someone's wrongdoing as ignorance rather than malice, anger becomes harder to maintain. They're not your enemy. They're a fellow human who doesn't understand what they're doing. Marcus took this even further. If you've mistakenly trusted an untrustworthy person, turn the reproach on yourself. The fault is yours. This sounds harsh, but it's liberating. You expected someone to be trustworthy when they weren't. That's a judgment error on your part, not a cosmic injustice. Recognize that untrustworthy, bad, and even evil people exist in the world. To expect not to encounter them is foolish. Say to yourself, I have encountered one of them. This is to be expected from time to time. This doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior. It means not being shocked by it. When you understand that people act from their current level of understanding, however limited, you can forgive without condoning. You can set boundaries without hatred. You can protect yourself without bitterness. By all means, point out where they've gone wrong, but do so affectionately, not meanly, not with hatred in your heart, and not to impress onlookers. Speak directly to them, and if this doesn't work, remember, you've done your part. Their failure to listen is their choice, not your failure. Understanding ignorance doesn't mean tolerating abuse. It means responding with wisdom rather than rage. Number 4, avoid the victim mindset. This principle is crucial and often misunderstood. Marcus was clear. The story you tell yourself makes you either a hero or a loser. When a person begins to see themselves as a victim, their mindset becomes weak. Let's be absolutely clear. Bad things happen. Real injustices occur. People genuinely wrong you. The Stoics never denied this. But here's what they understood. Adopting a victim identity doesn't help you recover from harm. It prolongs your suffering. When you see yourself as a victim, you grant power over your life to whoever wronged you. You make your happiness dependent on their acknowledgement, their apology, their change. Marcus wrote, if you want to change your experience of life, first change your opinion of it. Stop blaming others for your current state. Even if someone has wronged you, and they may have, if your character and mindset are right, you will find the strength and motivation to rise above the situation. This isn't about denying what happened. It's about refusing to let what happened define what you become. Consider this powerful reframe from Marcus. Remember that any evil that others do only harms your soul if you do evil in return. It is your job to be good and not allow their evil to change that. What others do to you is their responsibility. How you respond is yours. When you release the victim mindset, something remarkable happens. You stop waiting for justice, for apology, for vindication. You stop rehearsing the story of how you were wronged. Instead, you focus on what you can control, your character, your choices, your growth. This doesn't mean ignoring injustice or failing to hold people accountable. It means not building your identity around being wronged. You're not a victim. You're a person dealing with difficulty, and you have the capacity to handle it with dignity. Number 5, judge people by character, not appearance. In a world obsessed with image, the Stoics focused on substance. Marcus taught, a person's true character is revealed in tough times and when they face difficult people. Anyone can appear virtuous when life is easy. Anyone can be kind when everyone around them is pleasant. Anyone can be honest when there's no cost to honesty. But what do people chase when no one is watching? What do they avoid when things get hard? That's where character lives. Marcus advised examining people's ruling principles. Look beneath to see things for what they truly are. Examine what sort of things people avoid or pursue. Imagine their soul stripped bare. What evokes their love and admiration? Their vanity? This is how you judge someone's character. Do they chase low-quality pleasures or meaningful pursuits? Do they disappear during hardships or step up? Do they speak one way and act another? Do they maintain their principles under pressure or abandon them for convenience? Do they lift others up or tear them down to feel superior? Marcus wrote, if someone chases low-quality pleasures and disappears during hardships, their character is weak. But here's the other side. Don't judge people by superficial markers. Don't judge them by their clothes, their accent, their job title, their social media following, or how articulate they are. These things reveal nothing about character. When you need encouragement, think of the qualities the people around you have. The energy of one, the modesty of another, the generosity of a third. Everyone has different abilities and talents. Keeping people's genuine strengths in mind will help you think better of them and cooperate more effectively. Also, remember this. Most people are dealing with internal battles you know nothing about. Marcus cautioned against hasty judgment. Be satisfied in yourself. If you can't stop prizing other things, then you'll never be free. You'll always be envious, jealous, or afraid. When you judge people by their character rather than their appearance or status, you become harder to manipulate. You see through performance, you value substance, and you become more humble yourself because you realize everyone is fighting battles you cannot see. Number 6, stay humble, especially in power. This might be the most important principle for anyone in a position of authority, and we all have some form of power over others. Marcus had unlimited power. He could have anyone executed, could take anything he wanted, could ignore any law. Yet he constantly reminded himself to stay humble. He wrote, recognize that power corrupts. Recognize the malice, cunning, and hypocrisy that power produces, and the peculiar ruthlessness often shown by people from good families. Think about that last part. Even people raised well can become corrupted by power. It's insidious. If you ever find yourself in a position of power, remember this and check yourself. Resist becoming despotic. Marcus had a specific warning. Take care not to be transformed into a Caesar, not to be dyed with this dye, for such things happen. Fight to be the person philosophy tried to make you. This is profound. He's warning himself, the actual Caesar, not to become the stereotype of a Caesar, not to let absolute power corrupt him absolutely. How do you stay humble in power? First, remember where you came from. Marcus spent the entire first chapter of Meditations listing what he learned from others and what he was grateful for. This kept him grounded. Second, recognize your limitations. Marcus knew he didn't have all the answers. He wrote about the importance of listening to advisors, deferring to experts when necessary, and being open to correction. Have some self-respect. With every act, ask if you are respecting yourself with it and if you will regret it inside. Third, use your power for good. Marcus understood. A king's part is to do good and to be reviled. When you have power, use it to serve, not to dominate. Use it to lift others, not to diminish them. Use it to create fairness, not to secure advantage. Uphold the rights of everyone as equal under the law. Conceive of a society of equal laws, governed by equality of status and speech, and rulers who respect the liberty of their subjects above all else. Finally, remember that power is temporary. You will not always have it. And when it's gone, what will remain is your character. Marcus asked himself constantly, what sort of soul am I displaying by acting this way? Am I acting like a tyrant, an animal, a child? Stay humble, especially in power, because power reveals character. It doesn't build it. The Social Stoic. Navigating the social world as a Stoic isn't about avoiding people or becoming cold and detached. It's about engaging fully while maintaining your principles. It means recognizing that you're designed for cooperation, even with difficult people. It means showing kindness even when it's not returned, because your task is to be good, not to make others good. It means understanding that most people who wrong you are acting from ignorance, not evil, and responding with wisdom rather than rage. It means refusing the victim mindset, even when you've been genuinely wronged, because your power lies in how you respond, not in what happened to you. It means judging people by their character, what they do when tested, not by their appearance, status, or words. And it means staying humble, especially when you have power over others, because power is temporary, but character is permanent. Marcus faced every social challenge imaginable: betrayal, incompetence, cruelty, ingratitude. Yet he found a way to remain at peace while remaining engaged. His secret wasn't isolation, it was principle. When you approach relationships with Stoic wisdom, something remarkable happens. You stop taking things personally. You stop being controlled by others' behavior. You stop wasting energy on resentment. You become solid in yourself, capable of deep connection without losing your boundaries, capable of forgiveness without condoning harm, capable of engagement without attachment. But there's one final dimension we haven't explored yet: the bigger picture. Because you're not just living moment to moment, you're living a life with limited time. And the question becomes, what should you do with it? How do you think about mortality? How do you handle adversity? How do you pursue meaning? How do you deal with change? How do you face the reality that everything, including you, is temporary? In the final part of this series, we'll explore the Stoic perspective on life's biggest questions: death, fate, adversity, legacy, and becoming who you're meant to be before time runs out. These aren't depressing topics. For Marcus, they were liberating. Understanding mortality didn't make him sad, it made him purposeful. Accepting fate didn't make him passive, it made him powerful. If you've come this far in the series, don't miss the conclusion, because this is where everything comes together, where all the principles we've discussed align into a complete philosophy for living well. See you in the final part.